Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the NRX-055 Baund dock from Zeta Gundam, piloted by Jared Mesa himself. I really like the Baund dock. I think it's not quite as good as it was in regular versions, but it is still pretty solid. I am still losing my voice, so I apologize for any rumbliness that might be in there. You have the basic shot, which, like a lot of the Titan's later suits and the Jupiter suits, has recharging ammo as compared to immediately reload. That's the word I was looking for. You have 5 shots on it, and then it will have to, of course, slowly regenerate. It does decent damage when it hits. It's not great, but it does the damage when you need it. You have this shotgun blast, the Fletch blast. It's pretty solid. Does some good damage. You also have a grabby, but it's a palm grabby, which means that you're going to be hitting 5 lines in different areas. So you're not going to be doing a straight line grabby, but instead you can hit multiple targets, or you can hit enemies that try to sidestep it, which is very nice. They will not be able to get away from it. However, you can be interrupted like that, and then it has to fully recharge, which is very much a pain. That's kind of it for the range kit. We still have a grab to go through, but I want to show off that grabby one more time. As you can see there, it does decent damage. It does not destroy beam projectiles, but it will destroy physical projectiles. We also have the mobile armor mode. We're going to talk about that in this version as well. If you hold X and double tap a direction, I blocked there, but that was to try and survive. When you have boost, you're not making this easy to show off, Camille. You can go into the mobile armor mode. You cannot use all of your normal range kit in that, but you can use a lot of it, including, if we can get on the same level as him, you can use your grab, and you can, well, it's not a grab in that mode, it's a knockback instead. And you can use the flesh shot, which is pretty nice. Just for that. The Baund dock, I think, is really interesting to use. I think a lot of its moves are not super easy to pull off. And unlike other suits that have mobile armor modes, it doesn't have a quick activate. You have to, here's the burst. Gonna burst out of it as well. It's a nice little melee combo though. You have to manually input it every time you want to use it, which means that you can't just roll into a direction and use it, which will be a problem if you're used to just, as you can tell there, the claw does unfortunately have a little bit of a gap in the middle of it. It will be a problem if you're wanting to just be able to aim right up and hit them, because you can't just immediately go in. There's the grab with the basic slam, which I will think, will give you some trouble. You got to get used to it. I think after you get used to it, it's a great surprise for people because they won't expect you to do it because it's not one of your regular moves. You're not just going to be pulling it out all the time. But it's not bad. It's just not as good as other mobile armor modes, in my opinion. We will go in for the grab as well. We're almost out of time. We're gonna tie this one. Yep. That's our first tie, and the Maxiboost on counts as a loss. Super breakdowns. Man, not having my voice be like 100% normal is really throwing me off today. Going into the second round, we ask and answer our simple question: should you use the Baund dock? Honestly, I'm not sure. If you like melee, we're gonna get into the melee in a minute, and the grab that it has is really, really solid. So I think it actually is a pretty good melee unit. I think it's not that great of a ranged unit, and I think there are suits that have better mobile armor modes to be able to play around with that are a lot easier to go into and out of. So we have this grab. It can be kind of hard to land. It takes a lot of practice to get used to it. We have the basic melee version, which is pretty good. We have the version if you try to shoot, which is pretty nice. And then we have the ability to cancel out of it. I wish I could tell you there was like a third cooler version. That's pretty much it. But if you grab and then use any of your other shots, you will do the stab and jump back, which does really solid damage. It's not as cool as the punch, but I do think it's the better option. Now, if you are in mobile armor mode and you do it, well, thanks, Camille. Thanks, Camille. I'll be glad when we're not fighting Camille anymore to show stuff off. He combos really easily. In mobile armor mode, it is that little slap, which is not too bad at all. Show off the burst again here. There's the full burst. The main reason to use the Baund Dock, I think, is that cool factor of the grab and how cool it looks. That's forward melee. Really, really nice. You can cancel out of it halfway and still get that stun. Back melee is that slide, which goes into a kick, which is really nice. You have your side melee. Well, we almost had side melee. Data has higher priority. Side melee, which is that little slap. And then standard melee, which is pretty decent. Again, the main thrall is going to be the combos off the forward melee, the grabs, the command throws, the slams, all that stuff that looks really cool. But I do think there are better melee suits in this game. The Baund Dock can be fun, and being able to go into mobile armor mode automatically makes it better than other suits that just don't have one, because you do have that extra boosted speed. But I do think that other suits' kits balance out more, especially when it comes to melee. The range kit's not bad, but the fact that there are holes in the grabby where you just don't hit them are very unfortunate. I almost would have preferred a regular line or beam grabby. But with all that said, let me know your thoughts on the Baund Dock in the comment section down below. I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Baund Dock has to offer.